And boom, there we have it, all of our pieces for the first 2 pages. Well, at least page and a half. I'm gonna try to do these builds in a little bit of a different fashion to kind of make it more digestible for people that want to find certain parts of this build. There's a lot of pieces here for us to conquer, including a little helicopter, which we're gonna start with right now. The first thing we're gonna do is grab our trusty tweezers here and part number 1. Now, the one thing we need to do here is take our part and bend all of our edges. Now, what I'm going to try to do is, it's actually a pretty easy thing to do. We're just making a box. Let's get some finer tweezers here. Let me see. Where's my bends? There we go. I should have had these ready to go, but I didn't. Normally, I would be doing this in a live stream. I've been really enjoying those lately, but my schedule's gotten a little bit crazy, so I have to be a little bit adaptive here. And as we go through things, we're gonna get better. So get ready for some cool stuff coming. Now we're just gonna go ahead and secure this with a twist. Now I'm gonna go to each part of these guys right here to do that. I'm using my tab bending tool to do it. This is a great little tool, but one thing you need to know is that you can break the tabs super easy with this tool, so when you're using it, you do have to be a little bit careful. Also, what you want to do is alternate the way that you are bending these. Now you'll notice too that I didn't actually go ahead and bend this like the instructions tell us to do, and the reason why I didn't do that is because, well, I want to make sure that I can get a good connection on part number 1 going into part 2. But now that we have that good connection, we can bend down our edges here just like this. Boom. Bringing her down just like that. And there we go. We have all of our edges bent down. And I think that actually looks pretty good. We're going to be bending these, I think, out as well, kind of like that. I'm going right to the top here to do that. Just bending it down. Well, not bending it down. I'm actually bending it just to the left or right, just a little bit, depending on where they are. And our box looks pretty good. Now, eventually we're going to be putting this down, but I don't think we're doing it just yet. Actually, yeah, we are. Let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to bring this part down here, going right to the edge of that part and bring it down. If we did a good job, we should have these pieces line up pretty well, or our tabs, I should say, line up pretty well. Let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Okay, that one side's pretty good. Looks like the side here didn't go in as well, but we can negotiate that tab into place. There we go. Did I get both? I did. Okay. Now we're gonna flatten this like that. Okay, and we're gonna bend these tabs flat. Like that, and like that. Awesome. Push this together a little bit more. Nice little clicky sound there too, eh? All right, there we go. Now, the next thing we need to do is grab part 3. Part 3 is gonna go on top. And what we need to do is just make sure it goes in the right place. It can only go in one way, so it's not too difficult to put on. Let's grab the tip here to make it a little bit easier on us. I'm gonna use my thumb to try to negotiate all the tabs into place. I'm just kind of doing a small rotation. There we go. Oh, I had it and then I got it out by accident. There we go. Looks like they're all in. Now we're gonna go ahead and secure this. It tells us to actually bend this one, so we're gonna start the bend here. I'm using my tool here again just because I really wanna make sure that I'm going as far down on the tabs as possible. The reason for this is you want a really secure connection. You don't want this stuff wobbling around. And if you don't grab as much of the tab as possible, you will have a part that will move around. It'll be very flexible. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Awesome. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now that we have that, we need to do our next piece, which is a little bit of a circle. Now to do this, we can do multiple things. If you don't have a forming tool, you can take your tweezers here and do a bunch of small bends to get a nice circle. But we actually have some forming tools that we're going to use, and that is going to help create a consistent bend. We're going to start with something a little bit bigger, and then we're going to work our way down to a smaller size. The reason why I do this is because it helps us create a really nice uniform piece, and also ensures that all of the metal is actually bent. It's a big thing to do. If you try to do this quickly, sometimes you'll get a nice little teardrop look, and that doesn't look the greatest over time. Again, with these metal models, if you make one mistake, it's okay, but if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, it kind of adds up to something, and you may not be happy with the result. Okay. Now, I know I'm being a little bit overcautious with this, but again, once you're done building these, you're done building these. So let's go ahead and take our time, right? There we go. I'm a little shaky today. I might need some water, it looks like. I just want to secure that one side so the other one doesn't pop out. Now, these are secured how? Oh, it's supposed to be a twist anyway, so we did okay. Let's do that, make it more of a twist just to commit more. That actually looks really good. And see, we still kind of got a little bit of a teardrop there, even with bending all the metal, so we can come right back over here and we can touch it up just like that, and that will get us a nice little piece. Okay, I think that looks really good. Awesome. All right, I'm also trying to do some more, I'm also trying to improve the video on things that I'm doing. I got some new equipment, so I'm trying to see if I can, you know, work it a little bit better for everybody and see if I can get a more clear picture for those that are looking for help. I think that's one thing I really want to focus on. All right, that looks really good. Now we can go back and do another part one, which we've already kind of done. We need to make a box, and again, we're gonna use my thinner tweezers here. Let's bend this one 90 degrees, and then we're going to bend this next piece here like that. Grab the last little leaf there, go right to the edge, and just suggest it where to go. And there's our little box, just like that. Okay, now we need to grab our propeller. And going to try to negotiate this as well. Okay, also too, one thing we need to do is make sure that we're putting it on the right side. That's an important thing, right? Actually, we were doing it right this time. Okay, so the engraved piece here. I was second guessing myself. Why am I having a hard time getting these two pieces in place? I actually might have to use my tweezers to help me negotiate the there we go. And now what we need to do is just secure these. Now these are supposed to be secure with a bend as well. So same thing we're gonna do as we did before. We're gonna start the bend here, and then we're gonna go to the other side, do the same thing. There we go. I'm having a hard time here, aren't I? Now we're gonna commit these bends just so we don't have this move too much. Go and see, like, this is still kind of floppy, and I'm not a fan of that. We're gonna see if we can kind of maybe make that a little bit better later. I mean, I don't know, it's okay because it is supposed to be a helicopter, so it can have some movement. It's okay, but you know, try to like keep things as clean as possible here too. All right, that's our little piece there. Let's grab part 3 here. And again, we're going to put part 3 on top. It looks like my tabs are actually a little bit bent here, so I'm going to try to bend those back a little bit. I'm going to use my stronger tweezers. Those ones are a little bit weak. They're great for putting in like small pieces like I'm doing right now, but they're not the greatest for helping me bend bigger pieces. Okay, there we go. We got that in there. And now what we want to do is just we're going to go ahead and put this on our helicopter. We actually should have done this before, but I wanted to see if I can get that other little bit of detail in first. There we go. Whoops. Okay, there we go. See, the top one here, I'm not really digging that connection. I'm thinking that if maybe I can twist them first and then get a better connection and then bend the tabs over so they're out of the way, that might be the best way to go instead of what I'm doing right now. That would be my suggestion. I'm trying to follow the instructions the best way possible, which that's the way that most people are going to try to attempt this build. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm really thinking that maybe that it's a better way of doing things to try to maybe twist these first and then bend them, because yeah, like, I don't know, I'm not really digging the connection too much. Anyway, let's move on. We got that one piece down. Now we're going to go into the next phase here, which is again part number 4. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we're almost finished our helicopter, but we have another little piece here we need to do, which is part 6. Part 6 is actually kind of simple to do. All we need to do is just take it right to the edge like we've done with our past ones. I'm going to grab my more finer tweezers for this piece again, and we're just bending it right at the line. If you put your tweezers right at the line, that little mark there, it actually makes it a lot easier for you to bend everything into its proper shaping. If you don't bend it on that line, you might find yourself either a little bit short at the end, because the metal here is pretty thin. So if you don't follow that line exactly, sometimes you can get a little bit of part warping, which again will lead to some things not fitting exactly the way they're supposed to. Now that we have this here though, we can go ahead and grab part 7, which is another propeller, just like this. And what we want to do is making sure that we have the engraved side of our propeller like that. We want to put this piece into its place. It just goes like this. And we're doing some manipulation here. Whoops. There we go. Take it like that. There we go. And this one, it says for us to bend, but we're going to try to do it the other way, like I said before. So we're going to take it, we're going to twist it. We're going to take this one like these. Oh, I feel like I didn't get a good connection there. Okay, there we go. And we're going to twist again. We're going to do it the other way. And then we're going to grab this last guy here, which is a little bit of a weird one. Feels weird. And then what we're going to do is, now that we've twisted all of them, we're going to bend them down. So this way they are twisted, so the connection's good, but we also have them bent down here, so they're out of the way. 2 different ways of connecting, and all of them might work a little bit differently. Now, I think that's a better connection. Let's see. See our propeller's not moving anymore? And see how this part's more secure? That's a proper way of doing things. So keep that in mind. All right. Now that we got this done, what we need to do is put this onto the top of our little helicopter here. It's our drone, actually. Okay. I love how this was the first thing we did right off the bat. I mean, I would thought we would have done this last as kind of like a little bit of add-on, but no, the Metal Alert's like, you know what? We're going to start you off easy. We're going to get you something. We're going to get you a little drone first. And then that way, you know, hey, all the rest of that detail you see there, that's just the one giant rover. Okay, there we go. I really don't like the way that connected, because again, we followed the instructions, and the way that it's so shaky, I don't like it. Like, it feels like it's gonna fall apart. I'm gonna have to go and really go over this after here and really go over the connections, because I don't like it. See, what's happening here is these guys here are in the way, and I knew that was going to happen because they're so fat, like they're in the way, and those ones are flatter. So what I have to do is I have to go back here and kind of push these down the best I possibly can without breaking the rest of the detail that we've already connected. So yeah, not fun. Let's see if we can kind of like do this. Sorry, I'm kind of new to this camera angle, everyone. There we go. I think that's better. Okay, yeah, now let's take this and we're gonna place this right on top again and see if we can get it in this time. It goes in on the one side really well, but when you put the, actually I think we're okay. Let's see. Oh, come on, you're right there, sweetie. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's grab our tab tool here and we're gonna just twist. I really don't like that connection. So, okay, what did we learn here about this so far? We learned that the best way to make a connection is to do the twist first and then do the fold. Because if you do the way that we were taught in the last way, you get a little bit of craziness. I really don't like how this is not lined up straight. I'm gonna have to go back over this and really like suggest some parts, and like I like see how wobbly that is. Not impressed. Where can I improve my connections? It looks like really it's this bottom connection that's causing all of my issues. So let's go back to the bottom here and see how we can secure that better. It also looks like, yeah, it looks like a little bit of wobbliness there. See that wobbliness that we were talking about? See, now this is a great example of what I was saying before about how like you can have one mistake at the beginning kind of add up to some issues later on down the road. Well, this is a great example of that, right? Because we're at the end of our drone build, and now with that wobbly piece in the beginning, that's really causing all of our floppiness, which is affecting the look of our drone. So now we have to kind of go through and figure out a way to fix it without taking everything apart. And but it's okay. Again, we learned, and this is the great thing about these videos for you guys is if you watch these videos, you know ahead of time to say we're not going to attempt things. Actually, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? See, we got that to look a lot better, and I'm still going to fool around with this and get it to look even better. But right now, we're going to move on to the next little bit, which is adding that little bit of solar panel on top. Now, this is the same kind of a thing. We're just going to hold this up into the light so I can see. There we go. And we go like these. I had them all in there and they keep popping out, so it looks like okay. You want to play games? I play games. Come on. That's the only thing, is I really wish I could get some stronger tweezers. You see, I did buy some tweezers for my store, and they're good. They're the ones I use in my videos. Like, they're the ones like you see I use. Like, I would never sell something that like I wouldn't use, right? The issue that I have though is the ones that I have, I wish were stronger. And I find like detail tweezers are kind of hard to find in really good strength, you know? So the ones I have are okay, but I really wish I had some really good, strong steel. Like, these are steel, but they're just not strong enough. Yeah, see that shakiness of that one little thing really does throw off the entire build, doesn't it? So we're not going to play games later on when we get to the big guy here. We're not going to play games. We want this to be a strong little build. And I might have to take this apart a little bit later and readjust it because I really don't want that. But that, my friends, is the Ingenuity helicopter. And I gotta say, this little guy actually looks really cool when complete. I love the little solar panel and all of these little propellers. But now we need to move on to the bigger details of the rover. And that is going to be a different video. Until next time, keep building.